Yeah. Here, in the previous sessions, we discussed how to create a constant. Why we use a constant? To put a data validation, we need to use a constant here. So today, plan is to revisit constant one by one, and followed by, if time permits, we go for new topic here. Today, just I'll revisit that constant here. So what is constants? Constants are the one which help us to put a data restrictions. With a like it will help us to limit the type of the data that we can go into the table. Such constants can be specified when the table is first created via create table itself, or after the table also created. For that also we can do that. Actually, first I will show you in the table design itself how to add my constant here. In my table design itself, how can we put my restrictions here? Let me go by one here. So constant means we have different types of constant available. One is called as a primary key constant, and second one is foreign key constant, and third one is check constant, and fourth one is unique constant, and default constant, and as well as normal constants here. Let me go by one here. Slowly we go by one here. So from scratch we will create some table here. Let me close all the windows here. So here we did for this KLM, right? KLM are the tables created for this here. Yesterday, on the previous session we created here. Let me open new query. Here we created some tables here. Create table. What we're now going to do here? We're creating some table. Test one. We call this one a test one. Here I want to define columns here. ID as an integer here, integer, and identity. We define this one as identity integer, identity 1, 1. What it means here? Here we need to define my identity column as a 1, 1 here, and this column we need to call this one as a primary key. Why I need to use a primary key? Primary key is the one which is not allow any null value, and data should be unique. The primary key is the column where we need to define here ID int. Identity we should be defined for this primary key, and data should be unique here. So primary key we need to define for this. And next is name. Name we should be called this one envarchar. Name we call it envarchar here. So let me call this instead of this, call this one. We say what we can say here. Let me say what table we can create here. Some static table we can keep here. Static table or state or whatever it may be. Country info table we create this. So here this is a table we creating here. Here we are using primary key. Why we should be here primary key? Because I restrict the data so that it won't accept any null values. It should be not accept null values and should be like unique values. As I said, while designing the table, we should be maintaining some key values, right? So here also we should be maintaining some key values here. To maintain the standards here, we should be maintaining some key value that can be defined by primary key. Primary key is the one where it not accept any null values and the data should be unique over. The data should be unique over here. Next is name. See, any country information table I want to design means what is the important thing? Name itself is very important, right? Name itself very important. Without name, how can we do this? If any user insert any null values, it's a wrong, right? I want to restrict so that user should not be do any null values. User should not be do any null values here. That time we can define here not null. Not null is the one we need to use for restrict the data. We need to use for restrict the data for this. So let me select this. I'm doing this restriction here. Table has been created. Table has been created. Now I want to insert the data for this. How can we insert here? Insert into country name. What I can say here? India. I can say here. This country name I can say India here. On another set, how can we say here? US. We can say here US. If you pass null values, what happens? Let me see. First, we will insert this value for this first. 2 rows affected, and we need to insert a null value for this. it should not be accepted. Why it should not be allow null? Because null values should not be taken. Because we mentioned here not null. Not null means it should not be accept any of the null values. It should not be accept any of the null values here. So in order to insert any null values, I put a restriction called null. I put a restriction called null over here. I put. So this is a validation we did for putting a restriction. And to put a restriction for ID column, we give as a primary key. What is the use of primary key here? Primary key will be restricts here to inserting any null values or any of the duplicated values. You can ask me, like we are already declaring the identity column. So obviously indirectly it will not allow any null values and it should be unique itself. Then why we should use primary key? In the coming examples, I will show you what is the advantage of using primary key. Because identity itself take care of this. But though we need to create here primary key so that while doing some DML operation, my primary key plays very important role. While doing some DML operations, my primary key plays very important role. So we should be declared here itself. Primary key we should be declared here itself. So that is the reason we are using primary key over here. Though if we declare identity, we are using primary key because to put some data restriction. To put this data restriction, we need to go for primary key here. So now my country info table having data like India and US. That's fine. What is next? I want to do some transaction table which refer the information from this table as well as independent table. This is very important one here. This is very important one. Here we need to put all our restrictions because as I said, transaction table is a very important table where we need to put all the data validation. We need to take care of everything here. We should take care of everything while designing the table itself. Let me say here, create table EMP tran. EMP means trans plus transaction table. Here we need to proceed to create a columns for this. Employee tran means what are the things required? Employee ID is required. Identity. This should be start with the 1,1. It should be primary key. That's the one thing. Second thing, what is required? Employee name here. Define employee name here. So once you define employee name here, what is other thing is required here? Employee name ID is done. What is this? Employee SSN. It's a universal. SSN is very unique number that we need to define here. After SSN, what is required? I need to follow country information. Whether this employee belongs to which country. Whether this employee belongs to which country here. That is we need to give the country ID integer. Then what is required? Sometimes we need to maintain employee name is defined. Here, what are the things we require? Another thing, some data restriction we need to put. What is the data restriction we need to put? It's like employee phone number. It should be like only should be this format. Like it should be like certain restriction we need to put here. So these are some restrictions we need to follow. Here, basically what needs to do? This is a column name integer to follow this ID 1,1 as a primary key. So that you put a restriction for this. It is done. What about this? This is a name. It should be not null, right? Name should be not null. Why is it should be not null here? Here, the name won't accept any null value. If you feel while designing the table itself, which are the columns are important column, there itself we need to define. There itself we need to define here. There itself we need to define here. That is one thing. And after this SSN number. SSN number is the one we need to follow some country code followed by unique numbers. For example, here I want to put a restriction like check is a constant which we need to use here. This employee SSN should be like this format. Let me say here, for example, you want to put first two should be alphabets, then we can put here A to Z. Second should be alphabets, then also we should be put here A to Z here. And followed by numbers. Then we can follow by numbers means we can follow like 0 to 9, 0 to 9, and 0 to 9 here. Why I put this 0 to 9 solution here? Means it should be accept A to Z, and 0 to 9, 0 to 9, 0. What it means? First should be alphabets, and after this, everything number should be accept here. So I should be put like A to Z, 0 to 9, 0 to 9, 0 to 9. I should put. And Next, what needs to do? This complete set I need to enclose with the brackets. So in SQL Server, bracket indicates it's a completely one group. The bracket indicates it's a completely the one group. If you use here complete bracket, this complete set defines as a one set. This complete set is defined as one set over here. So I need to put a restriction like this here. This is a very important, friends. Check is a constant where user can define its own logic. User can define by its own logic. And employee SSN should be unique. We can give whatever it may be, not an issue about that. Here unique. For example, you want to define this employee SSN should be unique here. We need to define here unique only. Why I should be unique here? For example, I don't want to allow anyone to insert any of the duplicates. It should be unique means we should be declared unique. What's the difference between primary key and unique key here? Unique means n number of keys we can create. For example, employer SSI should be unique, that we need to define. For example, phone number also required. Each employee having unique phone number, right? For this also we should be mentioning as a unique here. Means n number of more than primary key. If more than one unique value want to do, my unique value works. But in table we have only one primary key. We have one primary key. It should not have any more than one primary key here. If you declare as a primary key, it should be like only one primary key we can define. Not more than one we can't do. But here my requirement is SSN should be unique, means SSN number, and phone number should be unique because each employee having unique phone number, right? That we need to define here by unique key itself. Without unique key, we can't able to define. Without unique key, we should not can't able to define here. We should be define here unique itself. Unique key we should be defined here. And one more thing, unique one limitation, some limitation for unique. What is the limitation? It will accept one null values. Let me say, I will want to show you something. Yeah. Yeah. For example, here I have SSN like this. I have SSN like this. IN 001, IN 002, IN 003 like this. Sometimes I pass the blank, I pass the null also. Unique, how it indicates, it should be unique. Null means again two nulls is not allowed, but one, it will accept one null. It will accept one null here. Blank means one blank it will accept. It not accept two blanks here. It not accept two blanks here. Means unique is the one limitation, like what we mentioned here, that only one time we can do. That only one time we can do. That's a problem here. We should not be enter null values. We should not be enter null values here. That time what needs to do? We should be mentioned here not null here. Not null, we need to extra constant we need to put for this unique. Why? Because here null it will, by mistake if you use it as null it will take, but I don't want to do that. So here itself we should put a restriction like should not be allow any null values over here. Any null values over here it should not be accepted here. So such a way we will put a restriction for SSN as well as phone here. And country ID. Now we are coming to main part here, country ID. Country ID I should be referred from this table, country table. Means user should be, for example, my employees should be, I have company branches in only India and US. UK I don't have any branches. So then how come my employees will be recruited there? No, right? So same fashion here also, user having privilege to enter only these two values. User don't have privilege to enter any other than these values. Any other than these values, user don't have privilege to enter this. So these kind of restrictions, we can take care by using here. So how to do this? Just we give here employee country ID integer, here references will be used. References is the one what it do basically. It will refer which table you want to refer here. I want to refer country info table. In this country info table, which column you want to refer? Which column is you want to refer? In this country info table, you want to refer ID column, right? That ID column need to give. That ID column need to give. Means this is a column in this table. In this table, this is a column. I want to integer. Here I want to refer parent table. On parent table, which column you want to refer? This is a parent level. And that table, parent table, I want to refer ID here. That is we need to mention here. So and also here before referencing this, what needs to do? You need to check whether it's a primary key or not. If it should be primary key, then only it's possible to refer here. Otherwise, it won't refer from here. Here also one drawback. What is the drawback? Here, as I said, for example, country is only 1 and 2. The country is only 1 and 2 here. But here also it's accept null. Here also chances to accept null here. Again, we need to give here for this also not null. Basically, in a table design, we need to give not null very frequently because here the column which you feel it's very important for those columns we should mention not null here. Otherwise, what happens? Otherwise, what happens here? It chances to accept a null values. It chances to accept null values. Nowadays, it's market will be like. So the table level itself, we need to put all the restriction because once we insert a data again and again, we can't able to edit or we not able to update it because sometimes millions and billions of record will be inserted. When you go into the ETL model, that time you not create a table like this. You not create a insert the table here. Instead of that, everything is tool based. Like ETL tool is a completely tool based. There we'll directly pull the data from source file to here and do all our operations. So for that reason, what needs to do here, we need in a table design itself, we need to take care of all our tasks, all our important stuff we need to take care of here. So here important column we mention as a not null. What is the next thing? Employee address. Employee address is required, right? So employee address is needed here. I feel this it is not required. I require to update. For example, it's not required. Not feel like important one. If anybody wants, they can update. If nobody wants, they can ignore like this. So this column I will leave as it is. This column I will leave as it is. Here I not mention any not null here. Here I not mention any not null here. So this is a constant we basically use. One is not null, check, and unique. This is one thing. Okay, this is one we need to do this. But one more column I want to add. What is that here? Effective date. What is this effective date to? For example, I want to track when the data has been inserted to this table. At what date and what time the data has been inserted to this table. I want to track this. I want to track in such a way that when the data has been inserted, when the time has been updated, everything I want to track. Effective date is the column I'm added here, and here I call this as the date time. We call this as date time. Here, one more constant we can use. For example, no need of inserting value for this. Instead, what happen? Default with key get date. What it do basically? This default is basically assign some default value to hist. Default is the constant where it will assign some default value to it. Some default value to it here. So get date is the one. It always takes your system date and time. It always takes your system date and time here. It hour, minute, second, everything will be tracked here. So same fashion, get date will be read here. Every time if you insert the value means you can insert a value for the year itself, not of inserting value for this because here itself it will take care here and also this one is taking the system data and time. For this one the unique auto generated number will take here. So here extra burden for inserting value for these two columns is reduced. Extra burden for inserting the value for here is reduced now. By using my default as well as identity column, you can avoid this problem here. Let me create here this table. Now let me insert a value for this. How can we insert a value for this? Insert into this one values. We need to pass the values here. ID is not required because it's a primary key. Employee name, that's column. Here column name compulsory we should mention here. Why I should be mentioning column name here? Because here I am ignoring these columns. Means chance to get error. So what are the columns we insert? That column we need to pass. That column we need to pass here. These are column names and here values I need to pass. Values I need to pass. What are the values I can pass here? Employee name. Let me say it's A. I'll call employee name A. SSN. Let me say it's India 001. Let me say here India 001 here. I'll pass how much here. Here if we declare 20, it's like still it follow this discipline. Like only 4 digits we need to 5 digits we are able to insert, not more than this. If you insert more than that, it won't accept. IN001. Country ID I should pass as a 1. Address we need to pass as a like In pass, if you want, you can pass. Otherwise, we can ignore also. You want to pass, we can give. Otherwise, we can give null here. I don't have address here. Phone. What is the phone number here? It should be like some unique number. We need to declare. And effective date. Effective date I don't want to insert because it should be text. When I insert, it should be text by default. So I'm not taking effective date here. Only these columns I need to enter here. So one set, we need to insert the value here. On row affected. Let me check here whether it's working fine or not. Select start from table name. Select start from table name here. See here, effective date is a when the data has been inserted, that is has been recorded here. Same fashion, what I'll do, 4 records I'll do, two records will do this. Yeah, this will be this here 1, 2. Here my country ID should be 2 here, and address will give XYZ. I'll give XYZ here. If this 1, 2, 3, 5, I will give as a 4, 5, 6. Not affected. Let me run this now. All the date and time and seconds also recorded here. Everything will be taken. Today, if you run this, today's information. Tomorrow, if you run everything. By using default command, we can assign default values. No need of inserting value for this. By it will take by default one only. Now, what needs to do? These two values inserted. Now I do the mistake. Purposefully, I do the mistake for this. What I do? Employee name is fine. SSN. Purposefully, I do the same value. Let me check what happened. Unique value won't accept. Unique value it won't accept here. So what I do for this, I will pass as a 3. Next I will run this country ID. Again purposefully I do 4. 4 is not present here. Unique value it will be restricted. We need to select here. 2 should be there. This is because of this. Now I will run this. Address will be take. Address will be take. But employee phone number won't take. Why? Employee phone number I already gave here. A different number you need to choose. What number I can choose here? Now I will run this. We run this query. Some values it will restrict here. That is changed here. You can ask me why it is not showing 3 here. 1, 2 is done. 3 is not showing why. It is because each time we will try to attempt inserting a value. But how it works basically in my SQL server, first insert a value for this. It is fine, that's fine. It will ignore that. Second this, third this. But I tried 3, 4 times. Each time it will be my identity value reset to 3, 4, 5 and 6. So here finally when the data has been succeeded, that time what was the status of identity that has been inserted. What was the status of identity that was inserted? I will show you in a coming example. I want to set to 3 here. If any mismatch happens, after this, I need to set reset to this 3 here. I will show you that in coming example. As of now, it's taken 6. Why? Because instead of 3, why it is taken 6? Third time it's failed here because of this. Fourth, fifth, and finally it's inserted here because in the 6th time it was fine. So it was inserted here as a 6. ID number 6 here. So now it's taking, now data is fine. So like this, we want to put all the validation while creating a table itself. These is create table is very looks like very simple, but these are the validation compulsory. We should be taken care. These are the validation we should be taken care here while creating a table. Now my requirement is user should be allowed to enter only these names. User should not enter any other names here. How to put these restrictions? Here we put as a like. Like means the user can allow to enter the like kind of like. Like in means such a format. A to Z means it should be allowed first part as A to Z. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M up to Z. Here also alphabets. Here only numbers 0 to 9. Numbers 0 to 9. On numbers 0 to 9. Like this condition we put. But we will discuss more into this. More example we discuss. With the operator concept we'll explain this more. But here I want to put one more restriction like user will be allowed to enter only these values. We should not select any other values. So how to put this restriction for this? Let me say create table temp. We'll call this a temporary table. Here what I need to do here, I want to create one table like name. Let me say name here. And worker 5 or 10 we can do this. 5 is fine. Here what I need to do, I want to put a check constant like name in. Only this name should be select. Only this name should be select here. Not any other name. Only the names which is belongs to here. Only these names should be select. How to put here? Name in. We can select here. Arun, Ravi, Raju, and Raki. And Raki. What it means here? It means user having privilege to select enter only these names. If we user try to insert any other name, it won't text. In is the operator, it helps us to enter only these values here. Like means it is kind of, it is certain type of, but in is not like this. We having privilege to enter only these values. We should not enter any other value here. Let me select this create value temp. Command executed successfully. Let me insert here value for this. Insert into name values here. See here. Okay, temp. Sorry. Yeah, it won't accept. It won't accept any value here. Why? I put a restriction like it should be like only these values here. Only these values here. See one dot operator now. Select start from. See here. Only these values only we should have. You should not enter any other value other than this. If you put here Raju, again Raju here. Put here Raki, Ravi, Raju, Raki. You should not have any other value here. By using this kind of restriction, we can put by in or like. In or like, we can use here kind of restriction. We can put it for our data. We can put it restriction for our data here. This was the video. Let me save this. We save this as a session 3, 4. Okay. Like this, we can create a table and insert the data. Let me see what are other constants present. Not null, default, check on unique, check, and primary key, and as well as foreign key. The data has been inserted and selecting from the select statement. Select is the very important table column. Sorry, command. We need to get the data from here. Here we inserted the data here. KLM or EFG something we did here. Yeah. Let me use my EFG database. Select start from employee info. What is this basically employee info do? Employee info is the one where you get all the details: employee ID, employee name, date of birth, department, branch, and country here. That's we did. And also in the previous session, what we did, one more database we worked on. No? What is this? KLM. Let me see. More data I'm looking for here, so that it will be given an idea about more idea about this. Yeah. Yeah, let me use this data itself. Here, in the previous session, we inserted some transaction table with putting all the constants we created. That's fine. But today I want to do something here. What I need to do here? Let me say. Yeah. What is my? I need a requirement is case 1. I need data of employee A. Data of employee A. So I need data of employee, means I need only employee A details. Rather than select star from EMP, if you put all the data will come. No, I want to filter the portion of the data. I want to filter the portion of the data. In SQL Server, where is the command which we need to use the filter? Basically, how we use select star from table name. Here, where condition we need to give. Where is the one which help us to select the portion of the data here. Where employee name is equal to A. What it gives you? It gives you all the records of employee which belongs to A here, which belongs to A. If you select this, what happens? A data is coming here. If you put B here, B data is coming here. And also I don't want all the column. I require only portion of the data of A. Select, I need employee ID, employee name, and employee date of birth. I need date of birth. From which table? I need from employee table. I require to do from employee table where MP name equal to B. If you put like this, what happens? It says all the records belongs to portion of the record, employee ID, employee name, and date of birth of the employee here. Select. If you want all the record, only this portion we need to select here. Where is the command which need to use the select the portion of the record? Where is the command which need to select the portion of the record here? Now, I am not satisfied with this. Still, I need some more else. What is the required? Case 2, I need the output like the employee ID, otherwise we will give the employee name A, date of birth is this one, 1986 02 and 0. I need output like this. The employee name A, date of birth is 1986 like this. I need to output like this. I know so far these many columns, employee ID, employee name and date of birth. Only this much I have, but I don't want this. My output should be like this. The employee name A, date of birth is this much. The employee ID B, date of birth is this much, and employee ID C, employee name C is date of birth is this, D is this, and E is this. And his employee ID is, if A means 1 should become here, if B means 2 should become here, C means 3 should become like this. My output should be like this. Output should be look like this. 4 and 5 like this. It should be. How can we do this here? How can we do these complete things? How can we do this complete thing here? Let me write a query for this. First, select which are the columns I know. Select column I know, that I will write here. Select query I know, that is I wrote. Here, what is the non-column value? Here, what is the non-column value here? The employee name, right? That I should be mentioning here. The employee name. White spaces we need to give here. Yeah, white spaces we need to do. Now, what is this? A. A means what? It's coming from the column name, right? It's coming from the column name. In SQL Server, plus is the symbol which we need to use append the values. It is an operator. We call this as the operator. I will discuss in the next session in detail about operators. But as of now, I am using only plus to append the columns here. The employee name white spaces plus here. What is the column name of this? Employee name, right? That I need to give here. MP underscore table. Next plus symbol here. Next plus symbol here we need to do. A we will print for this here. Next, date of birth is white spaces. Date of birth is from which table we are searching for? From which table we have output like EMP table, right? That we need to give here. If we select this, what happens? The employee name A, date of birth is B, date of birth is C. Date. Partially we got the answers. I need this output again. Employee date of birth I required. How to do this? Again I need to give here plus MP date of birth is MP date of birth is. So select this here. See here issue. What is the issue here? So far it's came. Why? How come it's not showing here? How come it's not showing here? So far it's coming like anything, but how come it's not showing? Because this is a text value, invertible. This is text value, invertible. This is also text, that's fine. But this is date of birth, is a date time. Date of birth is a date time, data time. So always in a key point in a SQL Server, when we combine text with a date time, text with an integer, it won't work. So what needs to do? These also I need to convert temporarily, not in the table level, temporarily for data retrieval purpose. This one I need to convert this also text. This should be need to convert as a text, then only it will work. How to convert this to text here? There is a function called convert function. Convert is a function which help us to convert one type to another type. Convert is a function we need to use here to convert one data type to another data type here. How to convert one data type to another data type here? Convert is one function here, data type and size and column name here. What it do basically this basically do here, it convert which data type you want to do and which size and which is the column name you want to do this. Convert data type and size. This is the one where it convert one data type to another data type and for which column you need to do this. That can be taken care of here. So here this is a date time. I want to convert to is a envarchar. How to do this? Nothing but a plus we need to do. Here we need to give as a convert. Here we can give here envarchar 20. This one I want to do. Which one? EMP date of birth. What is the column name for this? We can say here EMP DOB, right? EMP DOB. That I need to give here. So here what it do? The date of birth of is going to convert to envarchar. Date of birth is going to convert envarchar here. Select this. See here. The employee name A, date of birth is Feb 186, May, June, and everything is converted. You can ask me how to remove the hour part. I will explain this. In the functions part, I will explain. We need to exclude the portion of the data. See here, now it's converted here. Now it's converted here. So now I converted. That's fine. So still we have something to do. What is this? And is employee ID is this one. So how to do this? Here also same thing. Well, we need to give plus. What is a non column value? This is a non column value here. This one we should give here. Yeah. And this is from already table we have. What is this? Plus AMP underscore ID. PMP underscore ID to fetch for this. If you select this, again I have issue. Why? It's again numerical value or integer value here. If the column combined with the text with integer value, again we have issue. Again we need to convert this. Temporarily it will convert. It's not table level. For here by fetching the record, it will convert here. It's not table level. Table level it will be unique only. Like it will be like integer only. But here as of now, to fetching the records, I am doing convert here. Now if I use here the employee name is this one and this employee. Here white space I require, so I will give here some white space. I got the output, but still, what is this heading? If you give heading like user will be happy? No, right? What need to do here in a SQL Server? We have concept called alias. What is this alias? For table and column name, we can give a alias name. For whole thing, we can give a one alias name called data. As for whole thing, we call this alias name as a data. What it do is everything we call this one as a data here. See, data is saved here. R. Just give a white space and call this on the data. It will also work. We can create two ways. As also we can use. Otherwise, white space data we can give here. This also work. Both are same. We can use this or we can use this. Both are fine here. Anything we can give what you want here. Finally, this data we need to copy and paste. In here, in a SQL Server, we can give alias name like this, as column name, as this one. And please avoid the white spaces here. Data name, if you give like this, what happens? It shows some error here. So when you give white spaces, we need to enclose with a square bracket. Why we use to enclose the square bracket? In a SQL Server, we call square bracket as an optional one, where what it do? It's completely consolidate this data to one group. This data it will consider one group that will be saved here. Data name. This is a way we can give a alias name. This is a way we can give the alias name. It only for only this friends. It is only for here data table part. There it will be remain same as it is. There it will be like as it is here. So in such a way we can use our literals. Literals are the one which we call this one as the literals. Literals are the one we can give some additional stuff to get as per data per minute we can give what we want here. This is my literals here. This is my literals. Now we need to go in interesting concept called operators. What is operators basically? Why we use operators here? In SQL Server, we have different types of operators. Operators are plays very important role while fetching the records and validating the records here. Operators are different types. One is called as a arithmetic operator, conditional operator, logical operators, and we can call this range operator as well as list operators. Let me go by one here in detail with an in detail examples here. We'll discuss here. What are those? So without operators, operators plays very important role while fetching the records and do the some data validations. Here basically we have different types of operators. One is called as a arithmetic operators. Second one is called as a conditional operators. And third one we call as a logical operators. The fourth one we call as a range operators. And last one we call as a list operators. These are the operators we have in our SQL Server. First, let me go by one here. First, today in the today's session we'll go only discuss with these operators only. In the rest of the operators we'll discuss in the coming sessions. So the arithmetic operators are the one which do arithmetic calculations. What are the basic arithmetic operators are available? One is plus, minus, star, and divided. These are the operators we use basically. So I will create some sample table to discuss more about this. Create table emp arithmetic operator A. We call this one A. Let me say A only. ID, I'll call this integer identity. And come on, primary key. Why primary key I should be used? It should be defined the primary key here. And this table I call this one as a name. Salary. Salary is required here. This one I need to define the salary here. So ID, name, and salary I need to define. Let me insert value for this. Insert into this values I need to insert here. Create a table for this. ID means not required. Here what I'll do, I'll insert A for here. Salary I'll give as a 10,000 here. This. It's a one set. It's a one set here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let me insert only 5 records here. 5 records I'm doing here. What I need to do? 20, 30, 40, and 50. This is some dummy table I'm creating here. Select start from table name. So table here. ID, name, salary is the table here. This is the data here present. What I'm going to do here, what is my requirement is whatever the salary they're getting, I gave them 10,000 rupees bonus for this New Year or Diwali bonus or whatever it may be. I want to give 1,000 rupees bonus to for them. How can we give the bonus for them here? I only retrieval part. I don't want to update it physically. Only retrieval part I want to do this. How can we do this? Select salary. It's a original salary. Let me give here original salary here. Here salary plus 1,000. I want to give each and every one 1,000 from EMP. Okay. If we run this, what happens? See here 1,000 what they're getting. Same thing for them. I'm adding 1,000 rupees here. 1,000 rupees. Here, if you give like this, it's not good. We give some alias name as new salary. I call this. The salary is the original one. It's new salary is another one. So same fashion, what I do, I want to reduce the, I want to depromote for 1,000 rupees for them minus. And also be careful. This arithmetic work for only numerical values. If you use one text values, only this one only plus will work for text values, like how we did here. Same thing, plus convert. Only some rare cases, but basically everything depends on only arithmetic integer values, integer column. This column should be integer. See here, new salary will be made in the salary for this. So one thing. Now for same employee, I want to give 10% bonus. How to give this? Start here. 10% means what? 10 by 100. How much? 0.10 here. This bonus part will be calculated here. Bonus part. For 10,000, 1,000, to 20,000, 2,000, 30,000, 3,000, 44, 50,000, 5,000. That's fine. But it's not new salary, right? Whatever they're getting, adding this, and finally if we give, that's fine. That's a new salary. How can we calculate here? Here 10%, it's showing a percentage here. That's fine. But here I should be add these two to get a final salary. This is my new salary. Why? The salary what they're getting, for them I'm giving a 10% of a bonus. 10% as a bonus here. This is my bonus salary. This is my bonus new salary here. This is my new salary actually. And this is fine. And now one more important thing I want to give here. Select start from salary. Let me say salary from employee. And let me give here salary and name, right? Yeah, name here for this. What is my requirement? What they're getting, 50% I want to give a charity. Charity I want to give 50%. How to do this? Same thing. 50% means what? 2, right? Divided by 2. If you give, what happened? What they're getting, 50% goes to charity. 50% is going to charity here. How can we calculate this charity as charity amount? Charity amount. We call charity amount. See here, 50% amount goes to charity here. In such a way, we can do all the operations. Basically, arithmetic operators are the one we can do arithmetic calculation. These are the 4 options we can use here: plus, minus, star, and slash. And plus is the one optional one here. Plus is the one which need to use for adding the particular text value. For example, particular person I want to do this. Particular person I want to do this. How to do this? Same query we need to pass where parameter, right? For example, I want to give bonus for only employees A. Employee name is A here. Same thing. Where name is equal to A. It will give only 1,000 rupees for A here. A only, not any other condition. Let me say name. Let me say here name. So by using where condition, we can put a condition. Still, we can do n number of validation. In coming example, I will show you like case statement. I will show you the data should be work dynamically. Here it's working for only the data which is saved in. But sometimes if in future, if anybody added the data, it should be work, right. Those are the way I will take care of this. I will explain the operator concept. I will explain this, how to deal with these all the situation. I will explain this in detail. Don't worry about that. As of now, only for A, only for B, how can we do this? It will show only for A and B here. For example, multiple conditions. Let me say this is my table. For random condition, A should be 1000, B C should be 1000, D E should be 1000, B should be 2000, D should be 2000. How to do this? I will explain this coming examples here. But as of now, please understand here. So like this way, we can add it here. Like this way, we can add it here. Filtering condition, where condition if you give here like this, it will help us to filter the data. Which help us to filter the data here. Such a way we can use where parameter here to restrict for particular user here.